Hello and welcome. My name is Jaffar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. The Pakistan train siege operation has ended after 30 hours with the killing of 21 uh, people who were taken hostage by the terrorists, and also the killing of 33 PLA militants. That is what the Pakistani army has said. On your screen, you can see those viral images that were released yesterday, in which this is just the time when the terrorists struck, and uh, they carried out a blast on the track, and then they took this train with them, the entire all the passengers in the train. There were more than 400 passengers in the train. All of them were taken as hostage, and then this operation started. Now, Pakistani military has been conducting this operation, and according to Pakistani military, there were suicide bombers that were there in the train, and that is what prolonged the operation. That's what delayed this operation. Now, the militants were asking the Pakistani establishment for a prisoner exchange. They were saying that all those militant leaders who are in Pakistani custody must be released in exchange of the hostage, but that has not happened, and this operation has now ended. That is what Pakistani military has said. 21 civilians have been killed in that operation. Four security troops have also been killed. Those are the details that have been given by the Pakistani military, and all the 33 militants have been killed. Now, according to the details that are out there, snipers first eliminated the suicide bombers, and then there was a bogey to bogey intervention that was carried out by the Pakistani military to neutralize the other terrorists. Uh, and according to Pakistani military, efforts were made to prevent civilian casualties, but 21 civilians have been killed in that operation. Now, this train, called as the Jaffar Express, was on its way from Quetta in Balochistan to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa when this terrorist attack was carried out in the mountainous terrain. This standoff continued. Now, there is a statement that's been released by the Pakistani military. If I may read that statement, it says that intelligence reports have unequivocally confirmed that the attack was orchestrated and directed by terrorist ring leaders operating from Afghanistan, who are in direct communication with the terrorists throughout the incident. Pakistan expects the interim Afghan government to uphold its responsibilities and deny use of its soil for terrorist activities against Pakistan. Clearly, Pakistan putting the blame on Afghanistan and saying that all those leaders of the terrorists are based in Afghanistan, and they were handling this operation, and they were giving the information and message to the militants who were on that train, and they have asked Afghanistan to uphold its responsibility and deny the use of its soil for terrorist activities. Uh, a couple of days ago, there was this Pakistani senior leader and advisor to the prime minister who had also indicated at Indian involvement. Clearly, the troubles in Pakistan trying to shift the blame to its neighboring countries, Afghanistan and India. But the fact is that such a big terrorist act was carried out in Pakistan. A train was hijacked. That in itself indicates the security situation in that country. Clearly, the security situation has not improved. It's in fact worsened in places like Balochistan. Now, the Pakistani army spokesperson, Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif, has further said that the Pakistani security forces took time to complete the operation because the rebels were using hostages as human shields. Now, they had also threatened that they will eliminate the hostage if their demands are not met in 48 hours. So clearly, it was a tough situation for the passengers on that train. Some of the passengers who were released by the terrorists or who were rescued by the Pakistani security agencies did speak yesterday, and they were describing their ordeal, what a tough time they had when this train was struck by the terrorists. Now, on the screen, you can again see that video that went viral. In that video, one can see that this train attack, when it took place, what was the situation like? The track was first blown away, and then this train was uh, taken control of by the terrorists. This is a video. These are still shots of that video. The passengers who have who were moved out of the train are clearly terrified. They were moved to a safe location in a different train. There's also a makeshift hospital where they were taken away. Now, why is Balochistan a problematic area for Pakistan? It's the largest province in Pakistan, but extremely sparsely populated. It has a lot of minerals and resources. There is a alienation in the population who think that the resources are taken away by the Pakistani state, and they are at the receiving end. There is also an anger against the CPEC projects, which is the China Pakistan Economic Corridor flagship program of the Belt and Road Initiative of China, which runs through Pakistan, and most of its infrastructure projects are in Balochistan area. Remember Gwadar Port, uh, which is a very high profile infrastructure project, was recently, the Chinese investment in that port, and also the airport, the Gwadar airport that was recently inaugurated from Islamabad. And we were talking to Akhtar Mengal just yesterday, who's the former chief minister, and he indicated that MPs from Balochistan are feeling very insecure, and this is the security situation is so bad that that the inauguration of that airport had to be done from Islamabad rather than from Gwadar. So clearly, the situation is extremely volatile. In the past, there have been several terrorist attacks in Balochistan, and Chinese have asked Pakistanis to step up the security because most of these projects in Balochistan are run by the Chinese. There are Chinese engineers and workers. In the past, they've also been targeted several times, and Chinese have expressed apprehensions about their safety. The entire CPEC program has rather slowed down, and some commentators indicate that one reason is that Chinese are very unhappy with the security situation in that country, and they have expressed their concerns over the presence of these terrorist groups in Balochistan. But clearly, the news is that this operation has now ended. Pakistani military spokesperson, the DGISPR, has Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry has indicated that 21 hostages and 33 militants have been killed in that operation. All the other passengers have been rescued and moved to safety. One of the reasons he indicated that it took time for the operation to conclude was that there were suicide bombers in those 9 bogies, and they had taken the passengers as human shields, and that was what was prolonging the operation. And according to the details that have been given out by Pakistani military, there were sharpshooters or commandos that were deployed, and they first eliminated the suicide bombers, and then there was a bogey to bogey intervention that was carried out by the Pakistani military to clear the train of terrorists, and all the passengers were rescued and moved to safety. But the bigger picture is that it indicates the extremely bad security situation in that country, where terrorists could actually manage to hijack a train. Obviously, they would have done their recce and planned it properly. There's also the month of Ramzan, and there were reports that many security personnel were moving from Balochistan to mainland Pakistan with their families, and they were also on that train. So clearly, a big sort of a development that's taken place in Pakistan, and ironically, Pakistan has blamed militant groups, their leaders operating from Afghanistan, and also shifted the blame onto India for the troubles that are existing in that country, particularly the insurgencies and terrorism. Now there is BLA, which is operating in Balochistan, and there is Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, and some commentators indicate that there is some sort of an understanding between the two groups, although their ideology is completely different, and that is what is creating problems for Pakistan. There is also criticism for the Pakistani army. It's said that they are mostly busy in providing security for a cricket match or for uh, cornering Imran Khan's party and indulging in politics rather than focusing on their primary goal, which is providing security to the people of that country and for guarding the borders. But they have misplaced priorities. That is one of the allegations that have come up from Pakistan. But for on that screen, you can see the relatives of the hostage who were having an extremely tough time all the time when this operation was underway. Remember, it was a 30-hour long operation, and they were it was extremely difficult for all those relatives to to be there, and they were just praying that their loved ones would be safe. Nevertheless, there have been 21 hostages that have been killed in that operation. A train hijack that shocked Pakistan, and China, according to reports, has said that it's ready to strengthen security in Balochistan precisely for the reason that many of the CPEC projects are running in Pakistan, in Balochistan, and China is actually funding those projects. There are many Chinese uh, engineers and workers on the ground. Providing security to them has always been a challenge for the Pakistani establishment. The topography of that place also makes it difficult to uh, to provide security for all the people at all the places, because it's a big province and it's extremely sparsely populated, and it's a mountainous area, and that's making all of this difficult. Now, Pakistan has been saying that the train attack was orchestrated from Afghanistan. Ironically, Pakistan was the one that was solidly behind the Afghan Taliban when the takeover in Kabul took place. And just a few years later, Pakistan now again blaming Afghanistan for giving uh, giving its territory to terrorists, according to Pakistan, who are orchestrating trouble in that country. According to the military spokesman, the ringleaders of this terror attack were in Afghanistan, and they were giving directions to the terrorists on that train to carry out this terror attack. So that's the situation on the ground. This operation has now ended, but it's raised many questions about the safety and security of the people in that country on one hand. On the other hand, there are questions about the security situation in the country and the The way that security forces are operating clearly send across a wave of fear and terror among the local population, and people are not even safe on a train. An entire train gets hijacked. That's clearly a cause of concern for the Pakistani military establishment and for its government. That's the update that we were bringing to you. We'll keep a track of this story. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in and for watching the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.